last weekend I watched Solo in theaters and I wanted to do a review on it. So, Solo. I really liked it. I mean, it's not the best out of all the Star Wars movies, but it's definitely not the worst. My favorite is the newest movies, Force Awakens and Last Jedi, and then the original trilogy, so behind those, obviously, but then above the prequels. About in line with Rogue One. I think I'd prefer this one to Rogue One, but it's been a long time since I've seen Rogue One, so I'd have to kind of watch it again and be able to really compare them well to decide which one I like more. I know there was a lot of controversy around having someone else play Han Solo, but I really liked Alden Ehrenreich as Han. There were even a few points in the movie where I specifically thought, wow, he looks and feels a lot like Harrison Ford as Han Solo. I was definitely not distracted by the fact that there was a different actor because I feel like Alden pulled it off really well and it felt right to me. Coming up for the rest of the review, there are going to be plenty of spoilers, so you've been warned. If you've not seen the movie, probably go and see it and then come back and watch this video. The movie didn't go exactly how I was expecting. I mean, I kind of expected the beginning heist on the train to take more time or to be kind of what's happening at the end. I thought that Han would get the Millennium Falcon sooner, although I do really like how it played out with him at the very last part going back to Lando and winning the Millennium Falcon, especially because he won it. I mean, it was still by gambling, but he won it by making sure Lando wasn't cheating. I thought that was really cool. That leads in a bit to Han's character. I really liked his characterization in this movie because he is a very, like, in-the-middle, ambiguous character. He comes into A New Hope as like a scoundrel, a smuggler, you know? And there's a lot of development that goes on in the original trilogy where he becomes a war hero. But it's interesting how, like, in this movie, his character goes around the other way. You can tell that at the beginning, especially, he was really just the good guy. It's like what Kira said. She was like, I'm the only one who knows that you're just the good guy. And I like that because it's like at his heart, he is the good guy, and that's why he was able to help out so much in the original trilogy. But that his lifestyle and in just the circumstances he's in, like with the Empire running rampant, like he had to go through them, and now he's been able to find some way that he can actually be successful, and that includes, you know, smuggling. And I think that's interesting too, that he learned in this movie how to not be so trusting to a fault. And yes, he did shoot first. The scene where he shoots Beckett felt kind of weird. I didn't really expect that to happen, but it makes sense with his character, especially to the fact that, yes, he did shoot first in A New Hope. Sorry, Greedo. But I do really like how his character turned out, how it's kind of just, it is this still ambiguous character. He has highs and lows, good parts and bad parts, and he learns good things and bad things during the movie, and it just kind of like puts him together and it works. Kira was a really interesting character. I mean, I kind of expected her to like die or disappear or something, just so she wouldn't be in the picture anymore, because obviously she hasn't been in any of the movies to this point. Now it makes me wonder, is she important? Was she important? Or did she just die or disappear sometime in the 10 years after Solo and before A New Hope? I know that right now there's a lot of people theorizing that she's Rey's mom, which, I mean, it could happen, but I don't think that's true. First of all, the timeline doesn't work out exactly right. According to the Solo official guide, she was born 31 years before the Battle of Yavin, which apparently makes her 1 year younger than Han. That's another interesting thing, though, that I was looking things up on Wikipedia, and it's interesting that because of this movie, they actually changed Han's age to be 3 years older. It didn't mention his age, I don't think, in any of the other things that are canon up to this point, but we just all presumed he was 29 in the events of A New Hope, because I think that's what was mentioned somewhere in the legends. But apparently, according to the Solo, A Star Wars Story official guide, he was born 32 years before the Battle of Yavin, which would make him 32 during A New Hope. It's kind of weird that they did change his age. I don't know how much that actually does to anything. It does increase the age gap between him and Leia to 13 years, which is kind of weird, but whatever, you don't really notice it in the movies anyway. I'm thinking that there may be some significance to it if they did change it. Probably just something small, like the fact that they did want Solo to happen like exactly halfway between Episode 3 and Episode 4, well, 9 years after Episode 3 and 10 years before Episode 4, but they didn't want him to be 19 during the events of Solo. They'd rather him be in his young 20s, meaning he's 22. But it's kind of just weird that they changed his age. Anyway, so also according to the official guide, back to what I was talking about before, Kira was born in 31 BBY, so she's 1 year younger than Han, and Rey was born 15 ABY after the Battle of Yavin. So that means that Kira would be 45 or 46 when she was born, which is possible, but it's kind of old. I just don't think it's that likely, especially because I don't think it's likely that she survives or is anywhere important during the events of the original trilogy. Also, I think it's kind of annoying that they do it this way, but the way that Star Wars has been treating things recently is just that the directors can kind of change things as long as everything fits into like the greater tone and feeling of Star Wars. And so that's why there was a lot of differences between what we expected and what we got out of The Last Jedi, is because of the director change and because Rian Johnson decided that Rey's parents aren't important and where Snoke comes from isn't important. And so with all of the changes with Rey's parents, I don't think it's really, first of all, that significant who her parents are, and second of all, I don't think it really has a connection with Solo because of all those differences and all the different directors and all of that stuff. Also, I was pretty surprised to see Darth Maul at the end. I thought it was interesting that he was the leader of Crimson Dawn and also kind of behind or above Dryden Voss. It was kind of weird that it kind of just hit you at the end. The movie up to that point wasn't extremely surprising or shocking, but then that hit and then it was over, and so it feels like they're gonna give us something else, like maybe a TV show. Probably not. There's probably not gonna be another Solo movie, but I don't know. I'm kind of just curious about that. I'm wondering what's gonna happen there. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the Kessel Run. So I thought it was really interesting. I don't know if I like it or if I don't like it, just the fact that the Kessel Run was really Han's first experience, like, smuggling anything. So that was interesting. He was on Lando's ship, but Lando was hurt, and that's why he was driving. And also, it wasn't something that was really monitored. Everyone has to kind of take his word for that. So all of that was kind of interesting. I mean, it does make sense that there's a reason why he made the Kessel Run so quickly or shortly. I still don't know if they think that parsecs are a unit of speed or distance, but that they had something they had to transport that had to be taken to its destination really quickly. I was also interested by the fact that there were a lot of scenes in the trailers that were not in the movie. So that was interesting. Like, a bunch of scenes when he joins the Empire that I think they just skipped all of that, skipped straight to him being there and meeting Beckett. And I think there was another scene in the trailer somewhere that, now that I know about it, took place during the Kessel Run, but it just wasn't there. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed Solo. I enjoyed it. I definitely say watch it if you know, somehow skipped to the end of this video and got all those spoilers. I'm sorry about that. Oh, the last thing is that when I went to Solo, I saw it in IMAX, and one of the trailers was the IMAX trailer for Fantastic Beasts. And in case you didn't know, I do a lot of Harry Potter videos, and I did a video when the Fantastic Beasts 2 trailer came out, and I respliced it into the order that I thought everything would happen, and I described what I thought would happen. It was super fun, but apparently the IMAX trailer has 2 extra tiny little clips that I didn't know about, so I wish I had done this with the IMAX trailer when it came out, because that's kind of lame that I missed that. But anyway, here these clips are. It's just real quick. Queenie is in Paris. I think that does match up with what I said about the plot based on the trailer, because I think I said that Newt met up with Queenie and Jacob on those cliffs in France and then they go to Paris or something. I don't know. But just so you know, it's confirmed that Queenie's in Paris, because you can see in this street there's French in the posters, and I think that's the Arc de Triomphe. And then Queenie's just right there. So I'm excited for Fantastic Beasts. I'm glad you watched this video. I hope you really enjoyed my review of Solo and this little tidbit about the IMAX trailer for Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, which you can do right here. Check out more of my videos. Up here, you can check out the Fantastic Beasts 2 trailer in chronological order. And down here, you can check out my playlist of movies. A lot of them are movie reviews, including a review on The Last Jedi when that came out last December. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next Monday.